Hey, today I'm going to go through a list with you guys, a list that I actually played against one, but it was a very hard fought match, much harder than I thought it would be. So I think we can learn something, and this is Andreas Rønne, who has asked me to go over his list from Jutland Open. Which is an interesting bit, and I played against more or less the same list at NTS. So he's repeatedly gone with the same list. So I think that there is something in what he's doing, and it's one of those lists that have very few, a lot lower order dice than I think is the Goldilocks zone normally. So it's one of those where he sort of challenges my perception of what the meta is and does well with something that's non-meta. And I think we can learn a lot from that. So let me take you to his list. Just a second. Here we go. So this is Andreas Rønne's list from Jutland Open. He also brought a very similar list to NTS, where I faced him and had a very tough game against him. So 14 order dice, 1250 points. Oh, by the way, he did really well at Jutland Open as well. 14 order dice at 1250 is, for me, at least 2 order dice lower than I would normally think is comfortable. So this is where we can first see that he is doing something very unusual. Though it is not as low as some other lists I've heard about, it is much too low for comfort, for me, normally. Now, how does he make this work? Well, he uses his officers and his tanks very, very cleverly. First one, he's got an officer with an SMG here, 25 points, very, very inexpensive. He's got an infiltration squad, Gebirgsjägers, Spartruppen. This combination for me as well is just, it's awesome. I know some people in the comments for my video are top 10 of Germans to say, well, I would never make this Gebirgsjägers. I would every single time, as does Andreas Rønne here. He brings a Feldjäger Corps. So these guys have 3 submachine guns and a Panzerfaust. They've got the traffic direction so that if he needs to, he can have these guys outside directing his vehicles in from the reserve. He's got a sniper team. I would never use this, but he does. And I think he does it where he tries to suppress things that will normally hunt him. So he tries to go after AT rifles or bazooka teams or officers that can be really important for some builds, right? That's what his sniper is going for. Then an engineer platoon, because he needs something with a little bit of punching power. Again, an inexperienced officer, dirt cheap with a pistol. He's got 2 pioneer squads here, but these are not the main thing. These are just LMG armed dudes, so they can actually sit back and shoot at range. And then flamethrower with 2 flamethrower teams. He could run these as Eintos, which I like, but he apparently likes the regular flamethrower because you can potentially get more shots off with it, right? Then an armored platoon, the 250/3 half-track command vehicle. This has got recce, and I think the recce is one of the things that makes this list work. It also is not noted here, but I believe it has a 3-man transport capacity, so he can throw his officer in that, which is key to his build here, because he needs something that can follow along with the armor. This one can stay behind line of sight blockers, or, it can even stay behind the armor that comes here. So it brings a Panzer III with the medium AT gun. This is an 8+ vehicle, but the heavy gun does mean it is very, very dangerous, and it can still do some damage to infantry with the double buzzsaw machine guns here. The Tiger veteran Panzer Ace is his Deathstar. This is the unit that makes the build, and this is why I would normally never recommend anyone do this, because it's 411 points. But it is extremely survivable. Extremely survivable. He gives it a pintle-mounted MMG just to have it extra, like it can basically every single turn if he wants to go last, he can split fire 3 ways, right? He can also, if he wants to, open that top early on and just do the split fire or focus fire on something. It does mean that he's a little bit more vulnerable, can get pinned, but with an officer sitting right behind him, and this being veteran, he's not likely to get so much pinned that he can't activate this, right? And with Panzer Ace, he's very likely to kill whatever he aims at. Then we have the Gepanzert Beobachtungskraftwagen. I believe this has a transport capacity, right? 3-man transport capacity. Maybe the command vehicle doesn't. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, it has 5-man transport capacity, right? Exactly. So again, but this has recce again. So a lot of his vehicles has recce. If anything threatens them, he is able to move away, right? And this is key because that keeps his officers alive, and the officers are what keeps the Tiger and the Panzer III going. Finally, a Panzer 17R. With the low velocity anti-tank gun, so that's a 3+. So he has 3 anti-tank levels where he can sort of build up a level where one of them can go on ambush with one of them and the other can go hunt, and then they can take turns hunting. And this is what I've seen him do. He takes a super heavy tank and he rams this at you, straight at where he perceives the crucial bit of the battlefield is for you. He rams it straight at you, trying to keep it alive, trying to keep it moving via his officers, and then the rest of his units will sit and snipe at you from advantageous positions. You're very, very unlikely to kill that Panzer Ace, that Tiger, and that's how this works. That's how the build actually works. The officer will follow the Tiger. The command vehicle here with recce takes the flamethrower teams and an officer, because you can transport 5 dudes, so that is 2 flamethrower teams and an officer, and he can snap to those getting forward, then move out one of the flamethrower teams, and then later on the second flamethrower team can go if it wants to. Also note that he can also split the flamethrower teams. One of them could actually go in the 254. Again with recce. So he's got 2 potential flamer bombs he can throw at the enemy. And I mean, can you stop all of that? Can you get everything on ambush and then sit there on ambush as the Tiger moves up into position, as the Panzer III peppers you with pins? That's how it works. Is it the most optimized version of Germans? No. But if you're good at playing your Death Stars, if you're bold, and if you know the order of battle here, it's really important. And this is one of the things Andreas Rønne is potentially one of the best players I've ever seen at this. His list of what is important for me to do right now first is spot on every time, right? And he knows he doesn't always need to go hunt with the Tiger. He knows he can sometimes go in ambush. Sometimes he'll move it because it's more important that it's in the right position. This takes a lot of practice with heavy tanks. A lot of practice. But it can work. And that is my message for you today. Try it out. If you ever wanted to run a Death Star, if you ever wanted to put that Tiger on the table, try it out. It can be done. That's it for me today. I will see you next time. Cheers.